Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to Creature Commandos Season 1, Episode 7, A Very Funny Monster. Nina's birth proves unexpectedly complicated, while the princess attempts to escape death at the hands of, I'm assuming, the Commandos, because it cuts off. So I am finally reacting to the finale of this season after months. I so I remember initially I delayed the reaction to this because I was switching over to my new computer months ago. And then I forgot about it. I forgot I hadn't finished this show. I also forgot I hadn't finished Daredevil. And yeah, so I was going through my channel. I'm going to start picking up on my recordings again because I fell behind while I was in my surgery recovery. And I realized I had unfinished series that I didn't want to start new ones until I got into it. So I've finished off with well, not finished off. I've got one more episode of My Hero Academia Vigilantes that I'm going to be recording after this. Um I recorded the finale of Daredevil yesterday. These were meant to be released in the same week that I finished off Vigilantes. But somehow I accidentally set Daredevil for next Thursday from my recording of this. And yes, I know I could just change it back, have it released out of sequence. I could just I could release this on the day that I was originally going to, but yeah, no, I'm doing 2 episodes last week, 2 episodes this week, and then starting my new slew of content um when this is all out. So what I remember happening is that the last episode ended with the Commandos, that being Nina, Dr. Phosphorus, and the Queen, and Weasel, I think, all meeting back up together after they got separated by the Amethyst Knights. And they got back together and were heading towards the Bikolistan Castle. Meanwhile, Rick Flag Sr., who I have now seen in live action, because I went and saw Superman a few weeks ago, he got absolutely bodied by Clayface, who they found out was posing as the Doctor who corroborated Cersei's prediction or premonition of what the princess was going to do, how she was going to eventually take out all of Earth's heroes. So I don't know what to think from this last episode, because the only one who knows the truth and is like actually capable of doing anything is Frankenstein. And there's no way the bride is going to listen to him. And that is the issue of having your phone off of silent when you're awaiting a call. It always seems to come through when you're in the middle of something. So, what was I talking about? Was it the bride wouldn't believe Frankenstein about Clayface and that, so there's no way he'd be able to convince the Commandos not to go through with it. We also don't know if what like Cersei was showing is actually true or not. Like, she seems distrustworthy. Clayface is distrustworthy. The fact that he's corroborating for her under the guise of a reputed professor. But here's the thing, we don't know when he took over from the professor. Like, it could very well be that this professor came in, corroborated Cersei's prediction, and then someone sent Clayface in to take the scientist, the doctor, out, and then discredit her don't know. That's what I remember being confused about in the last episode. And considering this episode's going to be the final confrontation, mixed with Nina's backstory, I don't know what to expect in terms of actual answers. So let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. I should probably check if my subtitles are actually on. They were not. There we go. Not gonna lie, I was expecting a fish to come out. Oh, it's one of those cases. I haven't heard of lungs. I have heard that story about the kid born with their heart outside. I don't know why I just assumed she was born a fish. Well, not a fish person, but still. That's definitely a way to describe someone. um, Considering the books that women read, I don't think the soft kind's made for them. Eh, Yeah, I didn't think he understood that. Okay, 2 days ago, Clayface. Can he say that? Was not expecting him to be that easily dismayed. Okay, not what I was expecting from that. Considering she withstood gunshots as well. Unfortunately, that is a very realistic scene. Gross. Okay, he is just gonna walk straight through it. Maybe not walk, but she seems to be struggling. You added a little too much. Now she can't breathe without fluid in her lungs. Well, other than being part fish, she doesn't seem to be any put out by it. So I did watch breakdowns for the episodes prior to this as I was watching those episodes, and the guard that has the slash on his chin, he was the guy in the helicopter that watched them. Was it in the helicopter or was it standing near the gates that saw them return to Belle Reef? So She seems to be about teenage now. That is the worst time to try and integrate her into. Oh, she likes lacrosse? Yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting. I mean, of course I knew he survived because he's in Superman. Or is this after? Take out the guards? Well, that's definitely a different interpretation of a waterbed. Interesting drawing the parallels between her and the princess. And how exactly is she meant to get into the water? Uh, I feel like that could backfire. Why not just hold her down? I'm sorry. I do, I do like them, each to their own, even if what they're doing is basically encouraging an abused child to kill someone. You're suffocating her. Yeah, I saw that. Extreme overreaction from the cops. But as we've seen in most of their backstories, the cops are not good. Like we saw what happened with Weasel. Also, he seems to have been permanently taken down. So does that mean that but why would, if Clayface is working with Cersei, then why would Clayface have been in that camera feed with the princess? Yep. And there it is. The only member of the team that was still good. Why is he steaming? Huh, Weasel was still able to actually damage him. I thought he was going to I thought he was going to say yes because he would burn off their hands, but why'd they make focus on the book titles? The only one I knew was Wuthering Heights, but you kept the no. Hmm. Mathilda. She clocked him. You killed my friend. And gunshot. Was that not the knife in the drawer, or did she just pull out a gun? You know, all of this would have been, to be fair, I was about to say all of this would have been avoided had she listened to what Frankenstein said, but they'd already seen Clayface in the tapes by that point, and she was already putting everything together, so. Right. Just casually walking out after assassinating the princess. I am sad that Nina died. Like, I wanted her to have a good ending. Also, Weasel doesn't know that his friend is also dead now. Oh, yeah, the Batgirl. And he's back to looking at himself. Hey, they were able to rebuild him. And King Shark. Hand. Well, at least now you've got another one who's good. Is there anything after the credits or. Yes. Okay, so that they did reveal everything. I'm assuming with the new. Did we get Nanawe's actual backstory in the Suicide Squad? I know they spoke about it, but um, are we gonna see it like we did with the original team? Because that's 3 new members. I hate when things do that. Gross. Why do you keep Sparrow dropping soup? No, I would be surprised if it didn't. I'd be surprised if it didn't taste disgusting. Okay, so I am glad I watched that. There was a part of me that was going to just write off Creature Commandos and Daredevil because it'd been so long um since I watched the previous episode. I'd just write off the finales, watch them in my own time. But I'm glad I reacted to this. I'm sad about Nina. It was She was too good for the team, and they needed to give the bride some actual personal stakes in it, in like disposing of the princess. Because yeah, she was just doing a mission otherwise. She didn't really care about saving the world or anything. So they needed something to actually bring her to like finish the task in that. And yeah, I'm sad. I was not expecting that to be her backstory. Like I thought she was born as a fish person, and to find out no, she was actually born with her lungs outside of her body, so they weren't able to properly work. There was a constant issue of any any like touch to the chest could potentially collapse one, which would cause her to slowly suffocate. They were also filled with fluids, so that was also causing her to suffocate. Um, so the having a scientist dad, him going through all that to just give his daughter a semblance of a normal life, and then you introduce other kids. Kids they are the cruelest when it comes to high school age. Because at that point, they know better and they're actively making the choice to be cruel. Like in primary school, um, kids kids are blunt. They'll point out things you don't even realize about yourself and not realize that what they're doing is um mean or anything. Some some do grasp earlier on that, hey, if I say these things, it causes a specific reaction, and I like the reaction it causes in that person. Through likely things happening in their own life, they've been conditioned to feel that way. But when it comes to teenagers, going through that awkward stage of puberty, having all those hormones, feeling embarrassed in your own skin, and then finding an outlet of, hey, there's this one person who is different from all of us. All of us can be united against this one person, makes me feel less of an outcast because of what I'm going through, despite the fact that everyone's going through it. Oops. Yeah. That's the thing that logically, at that age, you can understand that everyone's going through the same thing. But because of the hormonal imbalance throwing off your brain chemistry, you don't feel right in your own body. And so they're channeling it into her to the point that she thinks she can't live in society. And then you see what happens when humans actually learn of her existence. They hunt her down, capture her, and when her dad tries to break through. Now, yes, he could have said, I'm her father and that, but he was emotional. He hadn't seen his daughter in years. He wasn't doing anything to, like, disrupt stop the transfer or anything. He just wanted to talk to his daughter. And they shot him for that. Like, complete overreaction from the cops. As we saw in Weasel's backstory, the cops of the DC universe seem to have a shoot first, ask questions never, which has always been a thing in DC. The cops are not that good. Like Star City, I think, no, Star City's Green Arrow. Central City, the cops are better. Jim Gordon is good, but most of the Gotham PD. Then you've got the ones that were in Batwoman, who were even worse. Like, there are a few good ones. Central City is the only one that I know has an actual good police force in all of DC. And that's mainly because if they don't, the Flash would have something to say on with that, and they're scared of the Flash. So it's not that surprising that the major event in like half the team's backstory is issues with the cops. Like G.I. Robot, I still say is completely justified in everything he did. Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, so they've shown us who the new team is going to be. There's the Batgirl that we saw in a earlier episode, like actual Batgirl, not Batgirl. That we saw, what was it? Chasing Squirrels, I think it was, just based on the fact that they're back in their Belle Reve outfits in that thumbnail. I don't know who the mummy guy is. They got and they got King Shark. Now, I'm surprised King Shark. Why is King Shark there? Didn't the Task Force X basically say we're free now, or we release the truth to the public at the end of the Suicide Squad? And that was like, wasn't that the whole thing? So why is King Shark back in Belle Reve? Like, because this, as I said, this is set after because they reference the fact that, hey, we can't use Task Force X anymore because of what happened in Peacemaker, revealing the Suicide Squad to the public backlash, hey, we can use monsters instead, is what the basis of this was. And so, why is King Shark back in prison? What did he do? But yeah, I don't think we got his like proper backstory in the Suicide Squad. So there could be an episode about him, assuming they want to follow the same structure they did in this one, which, since there's only 3 new members, that wouldn't really work unless they pick up a couple extras. Because we had what? Episode 1 was no backstory. Then we had the Bride's backstory, G.I. Robot's backstory, Weasel's backstory, Frankenstein's backstory, Dr. Phosphorus's backstory, and then Nina's backstory. So that's 6 of the 7 episodes. So unless they're going to pick up extras, I don't know how they'd be able to structure it the same. I also don't know, like, when season 2 is going to be set. Like, I'm not entirely sure this is set. I'm pretty sure this is set before Superman, because Rick Flag Sr. is not working with Argus anymore. He was in the Pentagon. Or was he the Argus, like an Argus representative? I have to go back and see what was on his little placard. But yeah, so he was in that. And is season 2 going to be set like immediately after this? Is it going to be a little time after? Like, don't know. I was going to say something else, but it slipped my mind. Yeah. I have no idea who that Batgirl is. I have no idea who the mummy guy is. I don't even remember seeing the mummy guy in an earlier episode, so he may be a new acquisition. Was a little surprised to see G.I. Robot back, but given the fact that he is a robot character, it makes sense that he'd be able to have been revived. Because that's always the thing with robot characters. Their death never has to be permanent. Sometimes it is, and has the same emotional weight as, like, human characters, but most of the time it's not. Yeah, I'm very interested. But I'm gonna end this one here. I enjoyed this. I'll catch. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Right back at the start of my breakdown, I said I'm happy I watched this because this one was a lot more lighthearted than the ending of Daredevil. That was what the thought that I kept in my mind the entire time I was going through until the very end, when I actually had a break in tangent. Because boy, was Daredevil hitting a little too close to home. I'm glad I live on the other side of the world. But there were elements in this episode that hit too close to home as well, with the crazed despotic rule. Can she be called a despot, really? Because don't despots work off the oppression of their own people? Meanwhile, she seemed to be working for her people, just against everyone else. But I mean, it's sort of the same. She's sort of the same as the leader of Baravia in Superman, now that I think about it. Like, is he just wanted to invade the neighboring country? Another very hitting close to home. She wants to put her might over the rest of the world, which, again, a European country wanting to put in their might over the rest of the world. And then the police force in this. And then, now that I think about it, this is not as lighthearted as I thought it was. I should have stopped before I let myself go down this rabbit hole. I'll catch you in the next one.